The trifecta of reading, writing, and speaking represents three interconnected and absolutely foundationally essential skills in the realm of communication and language development. Together, they play a pivotal role in education, professional success, and personal growth. In order to write well, one must read well, and in order to speak their own words well, one must also read well and write well. Doing so has always been and will always be essential for the aspiring or actual philosopher. Obviously, outside of perhaps the deaf or mentally impaired, we all speak to other individual people and rarely under special circumstances in front of audiences or, if professional, in front of audiences on a regular basis. However, what far too many folks, and even well-educated college-graduated folks, really don't do that much of is read. After assignments in college, the reading slows, and then into work life, we only read for work-related purposes or in small doses of what seems like only on our phones, which will just not suffice. When we say foundationally essential to the philosopher, we mean throughout our whole life. Speaking, reading, and writing, and many don't want to hear this, but that means we should be reading books on the regular our whole life. Gulp or ugh, people say. Because reading a book, especially a more dense one, is work and not leisure. Sure, there are trashy romance novels out there, which are essentially narrative softcore porn, and there are plenty of garbage disinformation books as well. A great documentary can be vastly superior to a bad book, but as a whole, the depth of books is much more vast than the depth of what goes on the screen, with either fiction or nonfiction. It's common knowledge that when a book is adapted into a film, the book is always better than its stripped-down, more light screenplay equivalent, because the medium of prose, words on a page, allow, as a whole, for deeper of a well to pull from and comprehend concepts from, while also increasing vocabulary, acquiring knowledge, and inspiring critical thinking. When one finishes their workday, it's much more common to want to watch than it is to read, isn't it? The wife and I are both hardworking professionals, and we are known to sit down and watch a show in a somewhat larval-like state, just like many couples in their evening time. I've always read almost exclusively nonfiction, and she's almost always read exclusively fiction, and here and there. But as of late, her ratio of reading to watching has biased way more towards the reading at the time of this recording. It's too much to the point that she often prefers to spend her evenings reading now over watching some long and drawn-out show, halfway through of which you wonder why you're still watching and question the time commitment you've already invested in it. Reading is the input, and writing and speaking are the output. A realistic ratio is that one has to have inputted, meaning read, 100 times more than they will have written. So in order to write well, and well often, one must be constantly reading. Columns, articles, essays, research papers, books, novels, etc. The good news is, and we'll devote a future insight to this, is that due to technology, reading can also now mean text-to-speech or audiobooks, which allow for potentials to increase the amount of time one can read because they allow for more of a multitasking dynamic, as listening is something you can do while gardening, commuting, etc. Because we have spent 20 plus years listening to nonfiction audiobooks, that has allowed us to now spend the last 5 plus years writing essays and are now also moving into these shorter on-camera insights. And there's no way we could have done that or even thought of writing a feature-length screenplay or novel without prior of a long history of reading and then writing and then speaking. This trifecta represents a powerful set of skills that are integral for empowering the individual to express themselves, acquire knowledge, engage with others, navigate the complexities of modern life, and build up a unique body of work. Because if you input well, you will output well.